Something you gotta be really careful about is asking other people's opinions about your work before it's done. Um, you should always do it out of a genuine sense of curiosity and respect for the other person as an artist themselves or as someone whose tastes you really respect, and never because you need reassurance, you feel insecure about something, or you're seeking validation. Because if you do it from that place, their answer will mess you up and it will take you potentially a long time to get back on track. Um, I think, um, yeah, it's also about doing your job as an artist, which is making those calls. Outsourcing that job to someone who's not actually working on the record is kind of like slacking. I mean, if you're working with a producer or a collaborator or a co-writer, yes, of course, everyone has to be involved in making those creative decisions, and everyone's gonna get a credit on the record. But if you're gonna ask your roommate or your friend or your parent what they think, be prepared and don't hang on the answer unless you want them to be a fundamental and critical part of the record and you want to give them a credit. Um, if you ask your, you know, uncle what he thinks about the bridge and he doesn't like it and you change it, you got to give him a producer credit on the record. I mean, not really, but kind of, right? Because you just made him do that work. And when people are listening to the record, they're getting his perspective. And your uncle might be a great musician and producer, but he might not be. And he may not like all the music you like. I mean, you have to imagine if you're Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney probably had a friend or a cousin who hated his music somewhere out there. And imagine if he had outsourced all of his decisions to that person and just decided that the White Album was just too weird and they started again. Um, I mean, it's kind of an absurd analogy, but you just don't know really, how somebody's sort of casual opinion that they just happen to feel that day will affect the creative process. And it's generally if you're asking someone who isn't really qualified or interested or invested um, their opinion on something that's being created and is precious to you, um, and you're doing it because you're kind of just want a quick fix of someone saying, "Oh, this is great," or you're confused or lost and you don't know what to do. It's not going to help. It's going to make it worse. And I say that from a place of understanding the urge and from an understanding that there are exceptions to that for sure. And if there is someone whose opinion you genuinely respect and you really want to bring them into the process, the whole process of your creative work in an informal way, even, that's fine. But you'll get yourself into trouble, I've found, when you go seeking quick fixes of people's one off opinions. A lot of times people don't even really mean what they say, I found. You'll ask somebody, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, I don't know, it's a little this, a little that. And then you'll come back later and be like, what do you think about this? I'm like, oh, it's great. And you're like, well, I just spent the last 3 days, like, you know, totally messed up about it. And they're like, oh, did I say that? Oh no, I think I was just distracted. So don't do it. Don't succumb. You know, buckle down and figure out how you feel about something. Ask yourself for your opinion about it, or your producer, or your co-writer, or your bandmate. But not just whoever happens to be there. Generally.